And happy Friday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys, as always, for sponsoring our videos. So let's get right into our weather headlines. More rain and snow is currently falling in the western part of the United States, and we have some more rain falling in the southeast as well. So it's going to be a bit of a mess over the next few days in those areas. But in terms of severe weather, we should be quiet for today as well as getting through our weekend. But as we get into the beginning of next week, there is the potential for a system to develop and maybe bring some severe weather to parts of the country. So we'll talk about that as well. But before we get into our forecast, we do have an upcoming event. We are going to be at Win the Storm down in Dallas, Texas from March 14th through the 16th. And we do have a code if you are needing to get some tickets still for this event. You can use the word TRACE for that discount code, and you can follow us here on our Facebook events page as always for any upcoming events. So let's get right into our current conditions. It is a mess in the southeast. A lot of moderate to heavy rain is falling here from the lower parts of the Ohio Valley down into the Carolinas, western Tennessee, down into Georgia, Alabama, and even in parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. And this will continue to push off to the east as we get into the rest of the day today. And then out in the northwest, that system continues to dump plenty of rain and snow. There are some winter storm warnings in effect in this region. I'll get to that in just a second as well. Just a lot of heavy snow, a lot of moisture with this system, and this is the one that eventually will be pushing into the central part of the U.S. and potentially give us some severe weather next week. But zooming on now, taking a look at our temperatures. I mean, really the only warm spot right now is down in Miami, where it is 78 degrees. Otherwise, it's pretty chilly out there, 53 in Charleston, only 41 in Atlanta, so a really unfortunate cold rain is falling there. More 40s and even 30s going up the northeast coast, and not much better as we get into the middle of the country, where it's only 45 here in Oklahoma City. A bit warmer though down into Dallas, where it's 57 and 62 in Houston. So here are those watches and warnings. You can see again just a big old mess here in the west. Winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories are out basically through tomorrow. We even have some blizzard warnings out there as well for those higher elevations. And then we have some winter weather advisories out for parts of western North Carolina and eastern West Virginia for some mixing of precipitation. But I mean, for the most part, it's just a colder rain there in the southeast. So checking out a few of the metro areas across the south here in Oklahoma. In central Oklahoma, we have temperatures in the low to mid 40s across the area. We are staying dry today, thankfully. Yesterday was a bit of a mess here. Getting down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a little bit warmer, like I mentioned a few moments ago. 56 in Dallas, 55 in Fort Worth, and pretty much the same here as we go across the Dallas area. And then getting down into San Antonio and Austin, temperatures are ranging anywhere from 54 to 60 degrees for you guys. And then lastly, for the Texas areas, around 60 here. For most of us, it's a little bit cooler near the coast. It's 57 in Galveston, but 60 in Beaumont, 62 in Houston, and 63 in Cleveland, Texas. Then lastly here in the Denver area, it is 60 there, and some upper 50s and lower 60s are across the region for the most part. The exception is down here in just south of Centennial, where it is 52 degrees. So let's take a look at our future radar. We're going to start here in the southeast. Again, it's a big old mess of a rain for you guys in the southeast. It's a cold, chilly, heavy rain. So that's just going to continue to fall and spread off to the northeast as we get into this evening. This is at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it's just going to keep on falling. It's going to be a nasty rest of your day, unfortunately, and getting into the overnight hours. That rain will slowly start to push off to the east and northeast. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning. Areas such as Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C., New York City, you'll be getting in on the action of that rain as well. And then getting into the northwest, that snow is just going to keep on falling. Again, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, and blizzard warnings are in effect, and they're going to be sticking around through the day tomorrow, and even as late as getting into tomorrow night, depending on where you are. Just stay tuned to your local National Weather Service for the most detailed information. But yeah, some very heavy snow is expected to fall, especially here in the higher elevations in California, for example. So that's just going to keep on dumping snow if you're cold enough, and rain if you're in the lower elevations. You know, San Francisco, you can get those showers as well. So taking a look at our future jet stream, so like I said, there's not anything in terms of severe weather over the next few days, but as we get into next week, that could be changing. So this is basically, right now we have a small shortwave moving off to the east, bringing that precipitation in the southeast and getting into the northeast as we get into the rest of the day today and getting into tomorrow. You can see that little shortwave moves off to the northeast, and meanwhile that trough that is bringing that mess out in the west is slowly going to move its way inland, getting into Sunday. We should still be okay in terms of severe weather. Cold air, though, starting to set in with that trough. And then as we get into Monday, you can see some little wiggles trying to form here in the flow, and getting into Monday afternoon and getting into Tuesday, you can see that little short wave starting to move into parts of Missouri, for example, and moving into the southeast, and then it'll start to move off to the northeast as we get into Wednesday. So what does this all mean? So let's take a look at our precipitation. Again, a mess in the southeast right now. As we get into Saturday, this is at 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. This system will start to track off to the northeast, staying quiet in the middle of the country. So Denver, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Minneapolis, these should be okay for the most part as we get into tomorrow. But then Sunday, that system that was dumping all that snow in the west will start to track to the east. And as we get into Monday, stopping it at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central time, that rain, it looks like it's going to start to set up here as that system is going to be in the middle of the U.S. So we got to watch parts of the Central Plains, as well as getting into Missouri and areas like that. And you can see some heavier rain is expected to develop as we get into Monday evening, and we'll push off to the east on Tuesday. So areas as far south as Louisiana, we got to watch you guys on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, that system will slowly push off to the east even more. So here are the future temperatures. This is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. We're going to rebound very nicely here in the central part of the United States. A high of about 76 here in Oklahoma City, 78 down in Dallas, and more 70s as we get along the Gulf Coast. Staying cold, though, in the northwest as expected as we continue to see that snow piling up. Getting into Sunday, still staying relatively warm. We're not complaining. Temperatures in the upper 70s here in Oklahoma, down into Texas, eastward into Louisiana and Mississippi, and getting up into as far north as Iowa. We can see temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s. But As we get into Sunday and into Monday, you can see a cold front setting up here with temperatures still in the 70s and even some lower 80s ahead of it, but some colder temperatures behind it. And then it continues to push off to the southeast as we get into Tuesday and then getting into Wednesday morning. Now, in terms of that moisture, we need moisture for any severe weather to develop. So as we get into, this is Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, we're starting to get that moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. So as we get into Monday, those dew points are really going to increase in values. Those really deep green values are what we need for severe weather development. So upper 60s, maybe some lower 70s here with those green temperatures. We got to watch that. And then as we get into Monday and Tuesday, those values continue to stick around. So again, that moisture is not going to really be a huge issue, it looks like, as we get into Monday through Wednesday of next week. But we could have the moisture, we could have the temperature, but we need that instability to really get those storms going. So this is Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time. You can see that we will have that instability in place. So anywhere from Missouri, maybe as far north as Illinois, all the way down to Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, down to Texas, Louisiana. We're going to be watching this area over the next few days to really see what's going to happen. And then getting into the overnight on Monday, those values, of course, drop as we lose that heating of the day, but then getting into Tuesday afternoon, those Cape values return here to some of those same areas. So it looks like it may be a slow moving system. Some of those same areas may potentially see some severe storms for, a few days, unfortunately. We're still a few days out. We're still just monitoring this. But as we get into the weekend and, of course, getting into next week, we will be tracking this and giving you some more fine-tuned details of what we're thinking is going to happen. But we're going to close it out with our Candy Roof forecast. Unfortunately, not a good day to get any work done in the east with that rain falling, and it's chilly. It's just going to be a nasty day. If you can get out to do some door knocking, if you don't mind getting a bit wet, that may be your only deal today. But in the middle of the country, nice day to get out and to do some work, get on some roofs, and of course in the west, it is a no-go there. And then getting into tomorrow, basically same areas, great day here in the central U.S. to go out there and get on some roofs and get some clients some new roofs, new gutters, whatever they need. Again, in the east, still not the best day to get that work done, although it should start to dry out as we get into tomorrow evening. And if you guys do work on Sundays, same deal there, same areas here in the Central Plains, it should be fine. And we look to be a bit better here across the East Coast on Sunday. And of course, out in the West, it's still too cold to get anything done. So a lot of things potentially may happen over the next, this weekend will be fine. Next week, we will be tracking it. Make sure you follow us here on Facebook, Instagram, X, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, YouTube, as well as our TikTok page. Make sure you click See First on our Facebook page so you don't miss any live videos. And if you want to do a demo with us, you can scan that QR code above and you can get signed up to do demos with us to get more information about us and our products and all that fun stuff. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hilltrace.com and check out our website at www.hilltrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend.